Their worst offensive performance of the season against that big Pitt block that is one of the top blocks in the country. Came into Friday's match second in the country. As we are underway off the serve from Ashley Lee. And NC State, that offense wastes no time putting up a point. Coach Slave's message to his team, pretty simple. Look, they played 20 matches on the year, and it's worked for those 20 matches. So they're not going to change a whole lot just because on Friday they ran into a buzzsaw in Pitt. They're going to stay the course and stick with what has brought them so much success this year. No pancake there for Kristen McDaniel. And Virginia Tech evens it up at Virginia. Goodness. Virginia with the point, 1-1. Apologies to the Hoos. Haley Velasquez back to serve. Kristen McDaniel sets Courtney Bryant. Has been an impact player coming in for NC State after missing the early part of the year due to injury. She, like most attackers for the Wolfpack on Friday night, struggled. So good to see her pick up an early swing. It was an NC State offense that just didn't pass well enough to really be able to attack that vaunted Pitt block. Speaking of good passing, that was a good pass by the libero, Milan Gomillion, but Riley Schock all over it in the middle for NC State. And this is really her specialty. The senior from Newtown Square, Pennsylvania. The defense of Schock. Right at her average, 1 block per set. They go to the middle, and there's Abby Tatter. As she rotates out, Tatter with their team leading 186th kill of this season. The million serve handled by Sydney Daniels, who played well on Friday night. And there is Amanda Rice. When you miss a weekend, being brought back slowly on Friday, expect her to play even more and be more involved here in the Sunday contest against Virginia. And that's what Amanda Rice can bring. She often provides a spark for this NC State program. Good pass from Velasquez. They go to the middle again. This time, Varicia Yawn a second swing, dug out by Sky Stokes. Madison Williams with the kill, and a nice confidence booster for her. She did not register a kill on Friday with 4 errors against Pitt, but when she is on, she's a difference maker for NC State. Double-digit kills 6 times this year for the redshirt junior from Grand Prairie, Texas. And so you've seen Rice, you've seen Bryant, you've seen Williams, all with nice swings as NC State has gotten off to a fast start. Virginia using the tool there. They'll bring in Brooklyn Borum. Kate Johnson back to serve. Virginia able to score there. The point of emphasis for Coach Wells has really been the secondary touch coming off of that break. This will be over the R1 stands for an NC State point. But really the quality of the second touch, really challenging her team for that second ball to be closer to the net. And she acknowledges that her team is undersized compared to some in the ACC, certainly against Pitt, and also to this NC State team as they try to run the slide, no touch, although Virginia was asking for one. She said, look, we can be very successful attacking, but we're not going to be that successful if we're 8 to 10 feet off the net. We have to have more aggressive second touches, whether that's from the setter Ashley Lee or others. There's a good example as Borum was able to approach nicely towards the net. Ava Brizard with her first kill, and it's a big swing from Brizard. Timeout, Virginia off the kill. from Broussard, the leader of the Wolfpack. 8-3 NC State. Timeout will take it with them.
Let's go.
Everything they've tasted until now was just practice for this.
Oh my goodness gracious.
These are the 2 sauces, sweet and spicy jam and the mambo.
Look how that thing drizzle on there.
The way it's glistening, stop.
Oh my.
Sweet and spicy jam and mambo sauce are on the McDonald's menu for a limited time.
Oh my goodness.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Years from now, when you look at the beautiful life you've built for your family, you'll realize it was all thanks to the choices you made today. The time is now to act on your love. Connect with an agent who can help you reach your financial goals.
That looks really high.
It is high.
Whenever you're ready.
Are there any snakes?
Nope.
You sure? Here we go.
It's time to push your limits.
You're doing great.
Whoa, is that a buffalo?
Babe, that's a cow.
The all-new Subaru Crosstrek Wilderness. Adventure on the edge.
The fall seasons are ending soon, and we'll have 3 ACC championships for you on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Our coverage of the men's 8K cross-country race begins Friday morning at 8:30 Eastern. That'll be followed by the women's 6K, both from Appalachia Regional Park in Tallahassee. Next Sunday, the women's soccer championship gets underway with first-round matches at 6 and 8 Eastern, and next Tuesday, it's the field hockey quarterfinals to begin with games at 1, 3:30, and 6 Eastern. ACC Network is the home of ACC championships. Off the touch, Point Virginia. That the initial call, but we're going to have a challenge here from NC State head coach Lucas Slave, and we've got a nice, beautiful slow-mo camera, and we should get a good look. Was there a touch or not? An early challenge here. Again, call on the floor is Point UVA off this kill from Borum. Well, based on that look, no touch that we saw initially. Slow-mo, no. No fingertip by either Madison Williams or Riley Schalk. Take one more look maybe just to make sure. Yeah, Courtney Bryant, nobody touched in the back row. And so this looks like a review that will be overturned in a successful challenge for Coach Slave. Gotta love that nice slow-mo camera there. Just to give a good look at it. Decisions made, yeah, out, no touch. Call overturned. So successful challenge, and it puts NC State up 6. Ashley Lee sets across for Borum, pushes it over. Naomi Cabello will try Williams, and Gomillion got a hand to it but couldn't keep it up. Another kill for Madison Williams. It's an NC State team trying to get back again to the team that they've been all season before that stunning sweep against Pitt. And maybe you shouldn't say stunning, right? Because Pitt is, after all, a back-to-back Final Four team. But nobody had been able to come into Reynolds Coliseum and come out with a victory until Pitt did it via sweep. Brizard just snuck it through the block of Ashley Lee. Lee dumps it over. NC State defending on the slide. Oh, tough play by Brizard, and somehow a little off balance, falling backwards. She still got it to go. She has so many different shots in her bag. You saw the thunderous kill that led to the earlier timeout by Virginia. But right there, even off balance, just athletic in the air. Took a little something off. And NC State on a 7-0 run. And that run promptly ends on the service error. See Sierra Hecht come in, along with Reagan Trueblood. So a quick change here from Coach Wells. She had gone to a 5-1, really transitioning with Lee running a 5-1. And so Trueblood has not played a lot in the last couple of weeks, although she did pick up 4 assists on Wednesday against Pitt. And a big serve of Sky Stokes into the net. We just saw NC State able to hit over the block of Ashley Lee. That's an area where, as running the 5-1 as a setter, she had never really run a 5-1, and so still getting used to blocking, but is very athletic and can touch about 9'8", as Virginia picks up an ace from Varicia Yan. And NC State, to this point, able to hit over that block, and Virginia looking for a spark. They'll go to the veteran Trueblood. NC State setting the middle. And that was a key for Virginia coming in as well. The Wolfpack weren't able to set their middles much against Pitt. And Coach Wells saying, look, we'd like to serve it tough enough that NC State can't set its middles. If we only have to defend 4, being the pins, then they like their chances a lot better. So anytime NC State can get to their middles, it's a sign that they're passing at a high clip. A home bounce for Kristen McDaniel. Trueblood picked it up nicely. Amanda Rice. Again, her impact is huge. It's an NC State team with a lot of options. That makes it tough to defend, especially when you get the middles involved, like the point before with Jada Allen. You go back outside with Amanda Rice. And NC State is the first to 15, and another timeout for Virginia and head coach Shannon Wells. In the first set. Is that good? Pretty good. And we've got quite a few highlights for you already. Again, it's been Bryant and then Brizard on the outside. You see Madison Williams. She's tied for the team lead with Brizard, 3 kills. Couple from Amanda Rice on that right side also, and Jada Allen with 2 kills. NC State 12 kills, 0 errors. You're wondering, how do you hit 800? It's about picking up the kills, right? But limiting the errors is really how you hit it at an absurd clip like that. Wolfpack siding out nearly 86%. Anything over 70% is solid. So they're passing well and terminating out of it. And after a disappointing Friday again, NC State, the message from Coach Slave was, hey, we're going to stick with what's working. Let's stay the course. It's about the response today, and the offense has been much improved. Of course, we're talking about the NC State response now. The question becomes, of course, Virginia off of a little time off to a slow start here. What is their response after burning a couple of timeouts and falling behind 9 early? Well, McDaniel is a great server, and Borum could not handle that one. The first ace for NC State. Trueblood sets the middle, tried to go to Tatter. She'll try her again, and NC State's ready for it with the block. Again, it's no mystery that Virginia, they want to go to their middles, they want to go to Yon, they want to go to Tatter, and so NC State anticipating that. Lee is back in, serving for the Hoos. Nice block. Well, Chloe Wilson comes in, and it's 6'4". Got the size and the physicality. Again, it's overall a fairly undersized Virginia team, but Wilson sets up a nice block there. It's a Virginia team that does defend at a high rate. Lee tight to the net, goes to Tatter. Results in a free ball. Lee with options. Who else? Tatter again. Well, a great job by McDaniel just to get Brizard a swing at it, but there is Tatter again. Tatter with her second kill. Virginia's dealt with quite a few injuries in this season, but Tatter is back and healthy. And for the most part, Virginia as a whole healthy for the first time. Trying to go down the line on the slide and missed it. Borum with the second touch, and she picks up the assist. CC Hecht explodes off the floor for the kill. And the Texas A&M transfer, and that's what Coach Wells was talking about. You know, ideally you're not having, you want Lee to have the second touch, right? Ideally you're in system, but even if you're not in system, just challenging her team to be better on that second ball when you get the outside Brooklyn Borum with a nice assist. The tip finds the floor for Jada Allen. Gomillion gets the point started. And the Virginia offense trying to get going here. Just the 6th kill of this set. Second service there for Virginia as Gomillion, the transfer from Maryland. Serves into the net. Boy, was she awesome on Wednesday. All over the place with a team-high 9 digs against Pitt. Keep an eye on her play throughout this match. Sky-high dig. Leads to a Borum swing. No touch. Lee will try the outside. A couple of times she's fed Chloe Wilson. There's Wilson again with the stuff. Yawn by her side. And pardon me, we're on the other side of the court. My mistake. I thought that ball was down. And obviously on the replay, well out. Gigi Carvacho into the match. And that one, I don't think ever cleared the net. NC State had the block set up. Yeah, Schock and Madison Williams certainly hit the tape. Maybe got a forearm touch as well. Set point, NC State. Trying to finish off what has been a dominant first set. This is Bryant. Yawn is blocked, and NC State wins set one, 25-11. So just the response that this Wolfpack. Reagan Trueblood starts on the floor for Virginia as the setter. As we get going in set number two. And the tough serve from McDaniel, handled by Borum in the back row. And that's a nice start. Off of the right hand of CC Hecht.
Excellent swing from Hecht. The block was there. So for Hecht, the smart move is the tool. Hecht does it for the point. Excellent work by her to get things started for Virginia here in this second set.
And just a couple of kills. Wednesday's match at Pitt. She already has two this afternoon. Running tip by Brizard. Defended by Trueblood. Go Million with the dig. NC State connecting with Jada Allen in the middle. And Paul, that is always a key for NC State if they can get their middles involved, but especially a key for Virginia to try to stop NC State from being able to set up those middles.
A lot of that has to do with the attack of Virginia Tech. They can put pressure on NC State's transition defense that will eliminate Jada Allen and also eliminate Riley Schock from the offense. Nice gap attack here for the finish in the middle from number 3, Abby Tatter, continuing to thrive for Virginia. She leads the way offensively for the Hoos.
Borum puts it away.
And the Virginia Tech faithful would be very bummed out to hear me misspeak by saying the Hoos. Of course, it is Virginia Tech coming at you today in the orange.
Virginia.
And it is Virginia. Boy, oh boy, it has been a day. I tell you.
Borum again on the outside, the junior from Illinois.
Virginia
nice to see her bounce back, Paul. She had a tough Wednesday. No kills. Couple in the last couple points.
Good swing over there on the left. Virginia might have found something there. Already 2 kills on Toole over on the left side in this set alone.
Wilson has it sent back. Good pickup by Marisia Yan. It looked like a little bit of a scramble for NC State, but McDaniel was able to locate the ball, set her feet, and still connect to the middle.
Just what a seasoned setter can do, and that of McDaniel, to still be able to work the middle offense in, trying for the gap set, but instead going around the angle the other way in front of Gomillion for the kill. Excellent work by McDaniel to locate that set. That's one Chloe Wilson would like to have back. She had the available line. Toole had been working earlier over on the left side. Maybe a Toole is the best shot over there against the solid block of NC State. Fantastic work by Jan here. She's going to go ahead and close her shoulders. It's hard to close and swing back the other way after approaching toward the left angle. She closes her shoulders to push to the right, wide open spaces. Love that swing and choice by Jan.
And an answer from Courtney Bryant. You know, Marisa Jan, coach was telling us, she has a ton of talent, but at times she was so good at West Florida in the D2 level. She could pretty much score any which way, right? An All-American hitting over 400. And so she said, you know, great, but I want her to tip less often. And that's the kind of swing that coach wants to see from her. Go full force, because some of those tips that worked at the D2 level, they're not going to go down for kills against ACC defending. But ACC defending can't stop that.
Wonderful swing by Jan, and you hit it right on the head. Those balls go down at the Division II level more often, but you got to swing and you got to be willing to miss a couple, as was emphasized by Coach Wells too. Jan,
don't be afraid to miss a couple.
That's right. If you're going to miss a couple, that's fine. Miss them big, because you know the rest of those big swings are going to go down 4 points. I like that adjustment from Jan to take that aggressiveness up a notch, and it sure shows on the court.
8 kills on Wednesday. She's second on the team, right behind Tatter. And there's Riley Schock. Again, some great middles matched up in this. If you like good middle play, look no further than Tatter and Jan and Allen and Schock.
And that set just a little bit tight, and there's the experienced Schock. Knows what to do with that ball to go ahead and get a stuff. Instead of swinging, she puts her hands on it for the flush.
What a big kill from Jan. That ended up being a souvenir about 5 rows deep off the carom. And you talk about not tipping and swinging hard, and Bryant got the worst of that.
And it's good to see Bryant looking good here. Surprised Virginia Tech doesn't target her on that service reception opportunity. Cabello pushed that set out maybe just a fraction too far. Madison Williams had to work her way around the antenna. The result, a very difficult angle swing. And now we see Virginia really hanging in here in set 2 after a dominant NC State performance in set 1.
Yeah, Bryant shook that one off and gets a little revenge on the other side.
It's a good thing to see Bryant looking well after that. It looks like she did not take it on the nose. She instead off the forehead and out into the seats. Quality serve there by Bryant.
And she is from the Commonwealth. She's from Hardy, Virginia. She went on a nice serving run in set number 1. NC State took it 25-11 in dominant fashion so far. This set, the Who's playing much better. This is Brizard off the high hands. Jan on the slide. Boy, she's got it going here in set 2.
A key set of 3 rotations for Jan. Jan comes in very explosively on that slide. Only 1 block from NC State because of that speed on that slide. No problem for Jan putting the ball down. Schock had to hold, awaiting that set to be kicked back to the sliding Jan.
The grad student getting her master's degree in higher education. Right there, it was higher elevation.
And again, a great run for Jan. 3 rotations of the front row. She had 3 kills during that particular run. And now Virginia, can't say enough about the bounce back here. Looking much, much better here in set 2.
First time we've seen Madison Morey. She comes in to serve. Talking about the quality of the second ball and being more aggressive with it. You don't want to be 8 to 10 feet out. That one's a little too tight.
Just a tad too tight. But when you're in trouble, you're throwing that ball up. It is a very not very precise ball. But of course, they do need to bring that off a little bit. The NC State block or any ACC block is going to handle a ball like that on the attack.
There's an attack from 30 feet from Sky Stokes. And Gomillion kept Virginia in the play. Not a bad second ball there by Brizard. This time in system with the setter, Cabello. Easily detected by Hecht. Oh, wow. Stuff straight down off the slide.
And that's all Brizard. The block wasn't quite there. Again, in system was Virginia. So Brizard has to get out on her own, seals it off, and finishes off the slide. Quality approach from Tatter, not quite as fast as Jan, and the result, Brizard able to clamp down on that swing.
Think she's having fun?
It's a high priority for Brizard to have fun. Now, we talked about that earlier on in this season.
We try the other side here, Williams. And with Virginia giving a little more attention to Brizard, I think expecting her to get that set. A nice job by Cabello picking out Williams.
And that's the deceptiveness of Cabello. Cabello has really improved on not telegraphing her sets throughout this season. So telegraphing meaning tipping off the block as to where she's going to go there. Very deceptive from Cabello, kicking it back for the Williams kill.
And he gets a solo there for Madison Williams. She's going to put that away more times than not.
And more on Williams. One of the things that Coach Slave talks about and praises Williams is that when Williams gets a free swing, she's one of the heaviest hitters on the squad. So sometimes she doesn't get as much attention. But I tell you, when she gets a little open space, she's trouble.
Trueblood trying to go to the middle, and again, NC State has read the scouting report, Paul, so they know even if it's maybe not a ball that you would typically set a middle against Virginia, you still have to be cognizant, you have to be ready for it, because it very well might go there.
And that's the philosophy of Virginia, is to force the middle, and sometimes that means, as you said, a very unexpected set there. NC State on the ball, prepared for that 31 set from off the net.
Well, the NC State block paying big dividends here in the second set. It was Brizard with emphasis on one side. It's Rice on the other, paired with Allen.
Rice rushes out there. It is more of a collapsed blocking plan, so it's more of a bunch plan with both left and right blockers for NC State, very much bunched into the middle of the court to start against the middles. That means more work from the pin blockers to try to get out to block the players at the antenna. NC State is very much setting up in that bunch block to make sure to slow down the middle play of Virginia.
And you saw the reaction after that block from Coach Slave. That was textbook, what he wants to see from his team. He was fired up. And again, I think the net presence of the Wolfpack starting to wear away. We've talked before, Paul, about how psychologically that can be tough to deal with sometimes. The Wolfpack first to 15. We'll take a break. His son is a very good junior hockey player.
Well, and you're after my heart when you know that hockey is part of the DNA or moving into the DNA. I love that shot of the 14U squad, and they have hockey hair and attention to the max when you take a look at them. So, so glad that they could join us for this ball game today.
Well, out of the break, Virginia giving NC State a taste of its own medicine.
Chloe Wilson in perfect position over there to handle the swing of Brizard. Brizard had to look up at that set to take her swing, thus not having the best angle to see the block. Finishing things off was Chloe Wilson.
On an overpass, Kristen McDaniel trying to plead her case that ball was still on her side of the net, but it was in the plane. And Coach Slave will call a timeout. Chloe Wilson, you can see McDaniel pleading her case, but Chloe Wilson up and above makes the play. The season 4 premiere of All Access, the ACC Life, is tonight. Features Clemson women's soccer, Florida State volleyball, and Georgia Tech men's cross country. You'll get unprecedented access into the lives of the student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, and fans for Eastern after Pitt and Clemson soccer on ACC Network and the ESPN app. So especially if you're a volleyball fan, don't miss that. You want to check in on Florida State volleyball. Obviously having a great year. Just the one loss so far in ACC play. And that all-access show, regardless of the program that it features, always so interesting to be able to just get a little inside look into the lives of these great student athletes.
Super helpful, and sometimes it's not appreciated enough just how hard those student athletes have to work between morning weightlifting, going to class, practices, you fight through injury. There's a lot of time spent in the training room. Sometimes it gets forgotten. Well, hey, you had a game that took 2 hours. Well, the game itself may have taken 2 hours, but between athletic training, getting yourself taped up, post-game, getting things figured out, suddenly there's a time commitment that gets forgotten by these student athletes. Can't say enough about what both Virginia and NC State volleyball are doing today on a Sunday afternoon.
Well, NC State burning its first timeout that it's used in this match so far. Led 15-10 at the media timeouts. 3 straight won by Virginia. They'll send Haley Velasquez back to serve. Velasquez, former setter, moved to libero her sophomore year of high school. Went to high school in Wilmington, Delaware, All-State in Delaware. And a ball handling error on the Wolfpack. Double on the set.
A rare mistake from McDaniel. She's usually very good at going against the grain. She was running toward the left side sideline, trying to kick it back. Double contact by her awards the point to Virginia.
Brian Jones, our R1. Brianna Spain, the R2. Officials today. And a missed connection. So that ends the 4-0 Virginia run.
Trueblood was really trying for that gap set, but from so far away, it's very hard to get that ball accurate. Eventually the ball down on their own side without an attack.
No touch. Wilson kind of chopped her feet and made the play.
Love that swing from Wilson. It all started with a tightrope act from Trueblood at the setting position. She had to leap and then go toward the net, eventually setting this ball along the net to a swinging Wilson for the point.
First couple of years in the state of North Carolina at Wake Forest. He's found a nice home at UVA. And Virginia with an answer for Amanda Rice. We haven't seen that yet today.
I like this close on the block. In time to take matters onto her own hands was Borum with the middle block not quite there. Borum had to be in position. Nice work dropping her hands into the angle to stop Rice.
The athleticism of Courtney Bryant as she makes that play. It was not the best set.
Virginia really gave one up here, an opportunity to at least make some sort of play on the ball, but Bryant smartly makes the play up and over. Mishandling it is Virginia. Eventually the point to NC State.
Well, we knew that this was a good blocking team. Didn't see it when NC State hit over 500 in set one. It has emerged here in the second stanza.
Blocks aplenty and on both sides of the ball. This time Bryant getting stopped and the close from Jan to close the gap. Virginia now down by only one.
Kate Johnson sails the serve wide.
I like that choice on the serve to go aggressively down the line. That ball just barely sailed on her for Kate Johnson. I think she'd like to have that one back, but you got to go aggressive if you're going to put pressure on the NC State offense.
So the service error, and then Johnson unable to serve receive. And that jump float serve from Naomi Cabello is tough. Vermillion sliding over there, so they serve Borum instead. No touch, point who's.
Stokes with a quality pass to try to generate offense, but the attack out of bounds for NC State. Virginia continues to stay in this one after the blowout first set.
Well, when NC State has needed a point so far, they've gone to Courtney Bryant. She leads all attackers with 8 kills. That's double anybody else's tally.
And Bryant, very much the unsung player for NC State. She did not see a ton of action earlier on in the season. Now she's lighting things up for the Wolfpack.
And an ace. Having a big game against the team from her home state. Timeouts, Virginia. So Courtney Bryant, almost a one-woman run here for NC State, making it happen at the net and behind the service line. Again, 8 kills. We'll show you some highlights.
Courtney Bryant likes to take the big swing. You won't see her going tip or off speed very often. There she is on the right side getting it done. What a dynamic player to be able to hit. She is primarily a left side attacker, but you'll see her hit on the right, especially in service reception. And you highlighted, Andrew, just a moment ago, a service ace to prompt the timeout from Virginia.
Again, injured to start this year, but last year, just the 3 matches, just 4 sets. And it was her freshman year, right? Quite a big adjustment going from high school to college. But you talk about a big adjustment. It seems like she has really grown and adjusted really nicely from year 1 to year 2.
And sometimes with athletes, the light switch has to flip for a player to get used to the game. Coach Slave and the coaching staff knew that it would only be a matter of time. They knew she had the athleticism. They felt like they found a kind of a diamond in the rough. She was a little bit unheard of in recruiting circles. So when Bryant came to the Wolfpack, the expectations were that she would grow into a very good player. We're really now starting to see the fruit of that recruiting labor, and most importantly, the fruit of Bryant's efforts now midway through her second season for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, found her on film, didn't have a lot of big offers, and that was really the struggle in every sport for every coaching staff was recruiting during COVID when you don't have as many tournaments or you can't see players in person. The travel was limited, and so, yeah, like you said, she was under-recruited, but they were so excited about her potential and her ceiling, and she's having a big sophomore season, and still they think the ceiling is quite a bit higher than even where she is right now as she continues to grow. But as you can see, she's already at a point where she can take over an ACC match. That's what she's done so far in this one. Another timeout for Virginia.
So 2 aces in a row from Bryant, one before the prior timeout and now post timeout. So we'll get 2 timeouts in a row for the University of Virginia, and Coach Wells trying to stop the offense and the service pressure of NC State. Can't say enough about the Bryant service run, and a little bit more on Courtney Bryant. 8 kills now on the day, hitting at a .583 offensive efficiency. Bryant having a day here in Reynolds.
With the college basketball season starting in a few weeks, ACC tip-off comes from Charlotte once again. The conference's annual preseason media days with the women on Tuesday, the men's tip-off on Wednesday. 9 hours of coverage beginning at 8 a.m. Eastern on both days. They'll have interviews with all 30 head coaches and players from each team. It's only on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Don't miss it. A couple of my favorite days as a big basketball fan and observer, especially in this conference. NC State coming off making an NCAA tournament on both the men's and the women's side. And for Virginia, of course, their men's basketball team, national championship a couple years ago, always a contender. And I tell you what, the women's basketball team much improving as well. Keep your eye on Cameron Taylor for the Who's, all ACC type performer. All right, out of a couple of timeouts, and they are still having trouble with Bryant's serve. Paul, set point, Wolfpack.
2 aces in a row, and then prompt the out-of-system pass. What a run by Bryant, now trying to close it out. It was as close as 20-18, but now NC State in the driver's seat for set 2.
Hecht off the net. Sky Stokes will have the second touch for NC State. They go to Brizard. He just played Pitt on Friday. Starting today against UVA, and for the rest of the season, every team they play is behind them in the standings. They've already kind of gone through the toughest part of their schedule. You cannot take any match for granted in this league. But it just should be noted, as Lauren Bowie is seeing her first action, couldn't save that ball. It just should be noted that the schedule is very favorable down the stretch. It's the same case for Virginia. You look at what they've just done in the last couple of weeks, playing all the top teams. Their schedule is going to get easier down the stretch. Got a quick peek at NC State's schedule, and look, you go to rival Duke and North Carolina on the road. Those are never going to be easy matches, right? Boston College has shown that they've been pretty good at times this season, but when you're facing teams that are behind you in the standings the rest of the way, you have to like your chances.
And in the ACC, everybody gets their gauntlet at different times in the season. Yeah. You pointed it out just right. The gauntlet for NC State truly is behind them, but they cannot take any of these games for granted, including finishing things off here against Virginia if they want to hear their name called for an NCAA tournament bid.
Again, the call on the floor is a touch here. And it did certainly carry him off of Amanda Rice. Hit the net first. That's why NC State is challenging.
And always the question there is, did it go net antenna touch for the opponent? Well, the antenna was not involved, but from the coaching staff angle, they can't see that. It was, in fact, off of Rice. And I'd be shocked if Virginia did not get awarded this point here in this situation. So We talked a lot about the opportunity for NC State. Those Tobacco Road games mean so much to all the squads. So a rivalry game against Duke or North Carolina, you can throw out the ratings and throw the standings, out before playing those ball games.
It is indeed Point Virginia. So a successful challenge there.
And Virginia was standing back in service reception, so now they have adjusted. So the staff knew that it was point to Virginia, but Virginia was sitting in service reception saying, hey, let's wait until the official call is made. So now finally Virginia gets their shot at it after the challenge and the awarded point to Virginia. And Velasquez has to wait before that serve. We'll see if the ice causes problems for her on this service.
No trouble. Good serve. Bryant struggling to handle it. It's about the only thing she struggled with today. I thought that was 4 hits on NC State, to be honest with you, Paul, but play continues. Terminated anyways from Chloe Wilson, who lets out a roar.
No problem from Wilson, and yes, it's certainly debatable whether or not there was a 4th touch, but instead kick it back to Wilson. She finds the open space. No problem there as Virginia tries to gain a little bit of momentum here in set 3.
Chloe Wilson said, let me end the debate right now.
And nearly the kick save from Virginia to keep things going. Of course, everybody in the gym holding their breath that they could get on SportsCenter. Of course, if that save resulted in a point to Virginia, yes, we'd have that call on SportsCenter top 10 tonight for sure, but to no avail. Give the point to NC State.
Good pass from Velasquez. And True Blood does a little dance, a happy dance, after getting the point.
I don't mind her on that one. She's in the back row, so she can't jump and send that ball over. So she goes with 2 hands with that ball not above the plane of the net and still catches NC State off guard for the point.
Grad student, 3 years at University of Illinois Springfield, began her career 1 year at IUPUI. As Riley Schuck, we've seen her defense trying to pick it up offensively. That's a nice swing.
NC State usually uses their middles about as soon as the opponent forgets about them. They don't use the middles a ton on offense, so they're the back quick to an available Schuck. No block was really available. They were all fooled. That ball goes to the floor.
So both teams in the last couple of points, we see the ace from Cabello, but both teams utilizing just the art of surprise.
Well,
the unexpected.
That's what it's all about. You can't come with Melba Toast in this league. You really got to switch things up, or you're going to get figured out in the scouting room. Teams will know exactly what you do.
Brian will try again. UVA got a touch at the net. Wilson. And the UVA was in the net. It was Chloe Wilson.
Chloe Wilson with a problematic net touch there. Gomillion with 2 quality digs. One of the things that's so great about the libero for Virginia in Gomillion is that pretty much everything that's up is playable and settable. A lot of players can make the dig, but she is putting plays on the ball such that Virginia can run their offense.
So you're saying it's one thing to get the dig, it's another thing the quality of that dig. Well, that one comes off the scoreboard. Free ball. Gomillion again, putting on a show. And there's the UVA block. Well, Coach Wells said they gave up too many free balls Wednesday against Pitt, but they're able to score on that one Great defense. Great defense.
And Virginia is really just trying to piece together some points. NC State scrambling throughout this run. Eventually that ball goes down. It was the block of Maricia Yan getting the job done for Virginia.
Madison Mori's serve is perfect. Across the net and then just dropped straight down.
When you get a floater like that to drive and then drop off the table, you know your ball is working just right on contact. Mori, perfect serve there for the ace. Finding a way is NC State. NC State very much out of sorts there. We saw the tip on the right side, but catching Virginia just a little off guard. Gamillion had to reach out, unsure of if Mori could make the play. Stabs at it, but can't quite keep it in play.
Williams has it dug out by Mori. Borum attacking with their foot on the 10-foot line. And Yan right there kind of leaning backwards. That set didn't lead her into the ball on her approach. And that's going to impact the angle of the strike. And you can see leaning backwards. Too easy for Riley Schock.
Not only was the timing off there, but Schock had a read on that. She was already headed out before that ball was set. She was in good position.
Yeah, she was. Speaking of good position, Brooklyn Borum. Her twin Bree was the A10 setter of the year at Loyola Chicago last year. Brooklyn had a career-high 15 kills against NC State 2 years ago. She enjoys playing against the Wolfpack, it would seem. Misfire by Lauren Bowie.
And Bowie had nowhere to go. She was trying to snap that ball into the angle, but she was a little out of control. Underneath the out-of-system set, all she could really do was go for high hands. She missed, sends that ball out of bounds. NC State trying to generate some momentum here. This is the closest Virginia has been so far today.
Thunderous ace from Sky Stokes.
And when you're putting an ace between the experienced Mori and, of course, the fantastic libero in Gamillion, you've got something going. The bomb from Stokes for the ace.
Bowie dug out by Bryant, and Yan on the spot. Good swing from Yan, but it's Bowie with that initial attack. The freshman, part of this new crop of recruits for UVA, and, you know, got a chance to have a really nice conversation with Shannon Wells. And one of the things that I asked was, hey, you've obviously got a lot to sell at UVA. A great academic institution. You're in the ACC. You're known as a good recruiter, right, before taking over the head coach job when she was the recruiting coordinator at Florida. So what's the recruiting pitch, right? And she said, yeah, you're absolutely right. There is a ton to sell. It's the academics, and they're selling being the one, right? There's not a lot of volleyball history at UVA. Last time they made the NCAA tournament was 1999. So, you know, if you have some options to go to some bigger schools, you could be one of many. You come to Virginia, you're going to get a first-class academic experience, and you're going to be V1, and you can build it up into and really create some of the tradition. They want to put up that NCAA tournament banner and be able to look back on it years from now and say, hey, I did that. I was a part of that. And Bowie is a big part of that freshman class.
She is, and not only the freshman, as you see a moment ago, transfers too. Very excited to come to Virginia for that very same notion. Talk about being the one. That's an exciting label if you think about it. with the last tournament entry in 1999, none of these players were born at that time. So to say that they led their squad back to the NCAAs, that would be so meaningful, not only to Virginia and to Coach Wells, but to the entire program and everybody that took part in building things back up for the squad.
It's funny to think about as our perspective as people that were born in the 1900s, okay? But that's how these student athletes refer to as, oh yeah, born in the 1900s, because that's not a thing for any of them. As we're going to have a challenge here. Again, tied 10-10.
And the challenge is the Brizard swing. NC State challenging whether or not the ball was touched on the block off of that side of the arm of Chloe Wilson. So the question will always be in a challenge, if there is conclusive evidence to indicate an overturn. Tough to say on this one if the jersey moves or if the arm is bumped on this challenge.
I mean, that compression sleeve is by definition compressing, right? I mean, it's on there tight, so there's not a lot of extra fabric there, and I don't know. If you can't see it from that slow-mo angle.
With her swing, again, that has been one of the most impressive improvements by Ava Brizard over her career. She now has a little bit more command over that line shot. Now this one is not going to be overturned, but I still like the choice from Brizard to go down the line. She missed that tool by only a fraction.
Sure.
Coach Slave looking for a little bit more consistency after going up 2-0. He does not want to allow Virginia to extend this match to a fourth set.
Oh, Bowie with the stuff. Talking about her coming to Virginia, and look, she was highly recruited. And when recruiting opened up, she set up a FaceTime call with Coach Wells and had her mom in the room as well, as she did on every recruiting call to be a part of it. And she said, you know, she was kind of nervous at first to talk to not just Coach Wells, but any coach and on her recruiting FaceTimes. But she vividly remembers getting off the phone with Shannon and being like, I'm going to Virginia. Like, the decision was made. It was that kind of a call. She said, I just had a great connection with her. I felt that our conversation came so easy when I first called her. And Paul, I think it's easy to see why she would feel that way, right? You have a call with Coach Wells and she's confident and obviously has high expectations. I think has a really clear vision for what she wants this program to be and how she's going to build it.
It's well defined and it's very honest. Instead of saying we're going to win a championship next year, it's we're going to build this with the right players that are excited to make their mark at Virginia and slowly grow the program. And I can tell you that the play itself from Virginia has improved regardless of what their record may reflect so far this season since Coach Wells came to the program.
Great dig by Gomillion. Speaking of newcomers from the transfer portal by way of Maryland. And you mentioned that, right? Yeah, there's the 1-8 record. But if you look at who they've played, the ACC is such a tough neighborhood, right? And so they're not far off. You take a team like Georgia Tech to 5 sets, they're right there. And again, as their schedule gets a little easier down the stretch, as does NC State's, I think you're going to have a chance to see both these teams pile up some W's. Free ball. NC State able to capitalize.
Velasquez in position to make a play, but unfortunately just a little bit too much offense on the side of NC State, a little bit too much power, overwhelming Velasquez. That dig out of bounds. So give the ball to Jada Allen on service.
Virginia's bench thought that was a double. It goes uncalled. Point continues. Unbelievable job by Reagan Trueblood, staying out of the net and picking up the assist.
Wow, another tightrope job by Trueblood. So not only to keep the balance along the net, but still to locate that ball to Tedder. Tedder does what middles are supposed to do. When your setter's in trouble, go up with her. Good things happen. It's the easiest set to make when a setter's in trouble, is to run that middle quick. Sure enough, over to Tedder, who bounces the ball for a point.
Abby Tatter with the kill. And really what you couldn't see on that replay was how high that ball was passed. It almost hit the scoreboard. You have to be ready. Maybe it'll take a deflection. And so Trueblood, not just contending with the net, but that's all really spatial awareness, because she's having to look up so high to track that ball. It's not like in baseball where you're nearing, you know, you get a warning track before you get to the net there, okay? So she did an incredible job.
She did, and to highlight that just a little bit more, she did it in the away gym. In your home gym, you have a real good handle
little more
on the ceilings and, you know, where you're at on the floor based on peripheral vision. She did it in the away gym. Love that work by her.
Tied at 14 apiece. Next point will lead us to immediate timeout. Which team is going to be the first to 15? Maury has served it well. Picks out Sydney Daniels this time, who passes it just fine. And NC State with an emphatic finish. First to 15. It'll be the media timeout as Madison Williams and NC State already 2 sets to the good, looking for a sweep here in Reynolds. Is the home of the ACC Championships. Keep an eye on that NC State cross-country team. We get a double here from Reagan Trueblood. All right, hit percentage for Virginia, and that just got live updated, right? And much better in the third set.
Easy to see why Virginia is much more in this set, and they have generated much more offense here. That's no fluke, that 200 hitting percentage after hitting negative in sets 1 and 2.
And NC State trying to put their foot on the gas pedal. It's 3 straight points for the Pack. By the way, we're talking NC State cross country. Keep an eye on them. How about Virginia football last night? Big win in Chapel Hill over top 10 North Carolina team.
A massive upset, and a unique statistic that I heard about UNC football is that when UNC football is in the top 10, their next game against a P5, they're 0-3. So trying to get off of that stretch, couldn't do it against a very good Virginia team last night.
Yeah, Virginia had been looking for that breakthrough, and they found it. Virginia asking, I think, if NC State was in the net, we're going to get a challenge here from Coach Wells.
Super scrappy was Virginia to try to survive that rally. Of course, the challenge will be a net, and everybody on the Virginia court was waving the same thing to their coach, like unanimously, hey, coach, challenge the net. So as long as there's a good look here.
Schock, I believe it was Schock, was interested in maybe playing if it was going to go over the plane of net. She did hold off, didn't touch the ball. The question is, maybe did she touch the net? So it goes along. A save. This is where Schock goes up, thinking about it.
And the net was already bouncing around, so I think that call is going to come from a little bit earlier, possibly on the Madison Williams swing.
Right, now this is what starts the net bouncing.
Yes.
Right, all right, nobody's touched it yet. Ball hits the net again. Yeah, I don't think Schock ever touches the net. Oh, yes, she did. That left hand. Did it not just get caught up in the net?
So if that net brushes Schock while in play, that could be called the challenge. And of course, that's what Virginia is asking. but that's a unique call where if the ball and the movement of the net pushes the net into a player that is entirely on their own side, then it is not considered illegal. So yes, did Schock touch the net? Absolutely she did, but if it was the net that pushed the ball, or if it was the ball that pushed the net into her, a waving net, then of course no call. So Schock does not get penalized there due to the waving net out on the court.
And you could certainly see, right, it's first off the swing from Williams and then Virginia trying to defend, that net shaking. So Schock's hand got tangled up in it, but it's a key call.
And I still don't mind that challenge from Virginia. You don't want to let any points go if you can get them. There was a net touch, but then the question of what made the net touch Riley Schock, again, not illegal. And then the missed serve still allows Virginia to have an opportunity here.
And Ashley Lee hasn't played a lot in the last, set and a half. She comes in to serve a little cold and serves it too long.
So a few switches out on the floor as Coach Wells adjusts to make sure the service reception makes sense out on the floor. That takes Morey out and Gomillion in service reception for Virginia.
And they try to give Gomillion quite a bit of the court in serve receive. And she says, yeah, mine, and indeed it is hers. Poor set there, it was low. Bowie made the most of it, swinging freely again. Great placement. I mean, that is an unenviable spot to be in there, Paul. From where Lauren Bowie was.
It's about the only shot that Bowie had, and that is
so good.
That's the $5,000 shot. All that really means is that if you're a coach on defense and a opposing player can get that one down on you, you just tip your cap, because you're not going to ask your defense to dig a ball at 3 feet on the cut. Excellent save by Bowie for the point.
That was way inside the attack line. Third hit here off of a good serve. Big point here for the Hoos. And they have gone to the freshman a couple of times. She's given them a spark, Paul.
And now Bowie, she was a little out of rhythm, so instead of swinging hard into the block, she goes with a power push down the line. I like that choice by Bowie not to swing too hard, instead to find some space on the court. She does so, glancing off the defense for a point.
Well, NC State all out of sorts.
Good pressure on that serve from Reagan Trueblood. And sure enough, that is going to prompt the timeout from NC State. NC State looking a little bit sloppy, not only on service reception, but also in their communication. They seem to be struggling, and the result, Virginia sticking with it. It's their service pressure that has, along with a good Lauren Bowie on a couple of swings, to get them tied up here with only 6 points to go in the third.
The season 4 premiere of All Access, the ACC Life, is tonight. Features Clemson women's soccer, Florida State volleyball, and Georgia Tech men's cross country. You'll get unprecedented access into the lives of the student athletes, coaches, staff, parents, and fans 4 Eastern after Pitt and Clemson soccer on the ACC network and the ESPN app. So that's coming up just an hour and a half from now.
And I like this timeout strategy. It's more about the coaching staff slowing things down for NC State. You can see no coaching staff member until Coach Slave enters with only 30 seconds to go in this timeout. It's really more about NC State collecting themselves, and as you said on the front end, getting back to what they do best after a rough outing against Pittsburgh. And now Virginia starting to step on the gas here in set 3.
Coach Slave relaying his message. They say he's got 2 hats. There's Coach Slave, the coach, and then as soon as he steps off the court out of the gym, he becomes Coach Slave, the father. Again, his son and their junior hockey team, Ojbe, in attendance, and when they're on the road or at home, right? A lot of times he's, you know, they get out of the gym, he's watching as a proud father, watching on his phone. His son compete at a high level in junior hockey. But in the gym, on the court, it is intense. It is all focus. And right now, he's trying to get his team off of this slide. It looked like NC State, you know, they won 3 straight points, Paul, but Virginia making its move. It's the best the Hoos have played today.
And a service reception change as Lorna Kerr now out on the floor to pass for NC State.
Brizard, such an important piece of this team that has so many attacking options. They need a point, they go to her, and they get it.
There's the break, big swing, ripping again around the block or through the block. Chloe Wilson. Wilson was there, just barely through the wickets.
Good pass from Borum, and they get Tatter going off of 1 foot.
Tatter finally up to even in attack percentage, not having her best offensive day. She's put pressure on with the block, but now Tatter scoring to take the lead here, trying to close out this 3rd set.
Part of the reason they have been playing at a 5-1 is to be able to run that slide, and also with Lee's setting, because she was able to combine with the middles just a little better than Trueblood had. But she's done a good job of it here in the 3rd set. Scrambling are the Hoos. And a chance for the Wolfpack to even it up. It's Rice with the kill.
Such an important swing from Rice. Virginia so scrappy, staying alive there, giving up free balls to NC State. Eventually Rice is able to put it away. Great defensive effort though on that entire rally from Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia gave up 18 free balls to Pitt on Wednesday. And that's simply too many against the top flight ACC team. Wilson off the NC State block.
A first ball side out for Virginia. We haven't seen very many of those. Generally, we've seen longer rallies leading to points for Virginia, but there, perfect pass, kick it back for an excellent right side swing from number 20, Chloe Wilson, putting it away.
Milan Gomillion. Big serve here. Virginia making the switch at setter, and it has worked.
And a smart swing and a smart set to kick that ball back to Wilson. Wilson is the hot hand. Chloe Wilson, 2 kills in a row. She's kicked in with a block as well, but they're a little bit out of sorts. She's able to roll in front of McDaniel, who had expected bigger power on the swing. I like that choice from Chloe Wilson to round that ball out and finish it out. And talk about some great choices from Chloe Wilson. She's hitting at a 500 clip, leading all Virginia players with 8 kills on the day.
Yeah, making all the difference. And again, overall, Virginia undersized, but Wilson with great size at 6'4" on the outside. And that Virginia hitting percentage has continued to improve in this 3rd set. You know, when we checked in earlier, is hovering right around 200, 314, and that's how they've been able to take this 2-point advantage.
And you can see it flip in the script in the 2nd set. While the score was 25-18, you could see a low attack percentage from NC State. So it was the Virginia defense starting to chip away at NC State in set 2, and now in set 3 starting to fire on all cylinders with that quality 314 attack percentage, as you saw just a moment ago. Can't say enough again about Chloe Wilson. Really lighting things up on the right side. Credit Trueblood for being able to locate her with balls that can be attacked.
Right.
I like that setting change too by Coach Wells. Anything to switch things up to get things going. It's certainly working here in the late moments of set 3.
Again, it hasn't been Trueblood as much recently, but she came in with over 150 assists on the season. This is part of the reason why she came in as a grad transfer. Have a chance to run this offense, and she has done it here in set number 3. All right, NC State exhausted. Timeouts. needing a point here, and they get it.
Marizia Young really looked like she had Shock clamped down, but Shock then again, the smart swing from Shock to get the tool off of Young. You don't often see an intentional tool in the middle against middle, but there I think Shock did it to get that point, prompting the timeout from Coach Wells in Virginia.
Back-to-back timeouts. We'll take it with them. Stay with us on the ACC Network Extra. Following that, trying to stop any momentum. They still have one timeout in their back pocket if they need it. And they might need it here off the overpass. You could see that coming. Gomillion's passed it so well, but not that time.
A rare mistake from Gomillion on the overpass to tie things up. Of course, that ball did get to the plane before Bryant touched it. Therefore, that's going to be a point for NC State.
So now whoever wins this point will have set point. It'll be NC State. Wilson has had the hot hand, but she misses there. Now you take another timeout here. If you're Coach Wells, you would think so, and indeed she will.
And in fact, she's going to call a challenge here. She motioned over that she's going to challenge
even better.
a touch.
Why not?
Well, if she's challenging the touch on the block, I'm uncertain if I saw anything at game speed, but of course the replay will tell the tale.
Well, this
here
is going to act as a timeout, and she's going to keep it. And that's worst case scenario. That's if you don't get an overturn. Is there a touch here? No, I don't see any fingertips snapping back.
But as you point out, you can't take the challenges with you, so this one serves almost as a de facto timeout to slow things up.
It's a free timeout, and if you win this point and lose the next one, now you can call a timeout if you get an extra points.
It's so important a call here, regardless of if the play stands. Lots of time for Coach Wells to set up a play out of service reception. More importantly, time for NC State to collect themselves and try to put a block up against what has been a reasonably solid Virginia squad. They need to be prepared for a perfect pass from Virginia and not count on the service ace to finish this ball game off.
Well, since NC State used its last timeout, and as we saw in that replay, no touch, and the ball was certainly out. Since NC State burned its second timeout, 3 straight points here in crunch time. They have earned match point.
And you got to count on this ball going to Chloe Wilson if in system. Now we get the timeout, just as you pointed out. They had that timeout in the bag, so they're going to do everything they can to ice the server in Rice.
And you see the reaction from Amanda Rice. I know she was facing the other way, but you could see her kind of laughing about it as if to say, I knew that was coming.
That's right. That's right. I love it. I love the way the game is played. It's part of what makes volleyball a beautiful game. You get these unexpected pauses. Now with the challenge system, I think the challenge system now works well, where if you use it and you're wrong, you lose it. But if you use it, and there's the reaction.
She's like, come on, I was ready to serve.
And it's just, oh boy, got to go back to the huddle and collect myself. Every player that's ever played volleyball has been there. A timeout called while they're on the service line waiting to go. Man. And some players have ice in their veins and they can handle the ice job from the opponent. I do like this timeout from Coach Wells. You got to chalk up a gameplay, and at the very best, maybe you do ice Amanda Rice.
Well, you know, it gives you more time to think about it, right? But something that Coach Slabe does, and he said he was a great player at BYU in his day, and he says when he challenges his team, when we go into serve, don't just you know, hammer serve after serve. Put yourself in a pressure situation in your mind. Think of, okay, this is for this set. Okay, this is for the match. You're putting yourself in these mental kind of situations so that you're ready in this instance. And so Amanda Rice is going to now get her opportunity to serve for this match. Oh, a block, and the biggest one of the match. Wilson with a fist pump. They had to have it.
Beautiful block from Wilson. She turns her right arm in to seal that ball from going out of bounds on the tool. Instead, she ties the ball game at 24. Adrenaline aplenty for Wilson.
But then the service error gives NC State match point number 2.
Maybe just a
roller
little
coaster of emotions here, the last 2 points.
Maybe just a little bit of adrenaline there from Wilson after that monster stuff. Of course, Bryant gets a chance to make right after getting stuffed moments ago by Wilson. She'll do it on the service line.
And she served it so well in this match. Virginia has really struggled with her serve. It's Brizard, dug out by Velasquez. Borum extends this match.
What a heady play by Borum. She goes, shows angle, looks like she's going to take the big swing, then a roller into the right back to extend this ball game. Love that smart choice by Brooklyn Borum.
Boy, Virginia with 2 service errors at the most crucial moments. And if they don't come back in this match, they're going to have to look at that with some serious regret. Sky Stokes, not the heavy topspin. She goes jump float. Virginia dealing with it. On the slide, Yana tip. Virginia in the net. And the match goes to NC State. The Wolfpack, their 11th straight victory over Virginia, and they improve.